everybody, and welcome back to the shop. Our project today is a bandsaw tablet stand, and it's basically a combination bandsaw box and a tablet stand. So stay tuned and I'll walk you through everything in it. And what I'm trying to do is do projects where we use a lot of the leftover wood. I don't like calling it waste wood because no wood is wasted. You can build small tea boxes or jewelry boxes, so we have piles of them all over the shop. So what I'm starting here with is a piece of laminated wood. So I've taken cedar and fir mixed up, and we've laminated together, and it's 6 by 9. And the first thing I did was cut the end, so it's about a 12-degree angle, and that's where the tablet will be laying up against. So you can see that I've marked the top, and I've taken a half-inch piece off the top. See the lamination going through, and that'll be for the front plate. So we just take that off first. We made the angle cut at 12 degrees and then took that half-inch plane all the way across the top. And then I'm just freehanding something that looks good. I always like to freehand and draw something out on our own project. So we're going to have a couple of swirls. What I've done is on the back of it, I've made a little trough so you can put pens and pencils in there. Memory sticks and stuff on the inside of the drawer. So you can see here I'm just cutting the outside, and I have a 1/4-inch blade on here on the bandsaw. This is a great project to do with kids and stuff. You can get them sanding because there's quite a bit of sanding on a project like this. It's up to you and the degree of experience that the person has to use the bandsaw. Cut the outside form, and it's important too that you check once you get your block made, once you have the two sides parallel with each other 90 degrees, make sure that you run that up against your blade to make sure that your table is 90 degrees to your work. Because if you're cutting out of the box drawer and you want to push all the way through without any dragging or pulling or anything, it's got to be perfectly 90 degrees to the bottom of the side. So if you enjoy these videos, please think about buying me a coffee, and please subscribe. It helps the channel. So here I am just making the plunge cut. So what I'll do is I've decided where I'm going to go into it, and then I'll cut all the way around. So this is removing the core. So I'm just going to cut the core out here, and then once we get the core cut out, and then we'll proceed to make this the drawer. This is where I was talking about if your table is on an angle to the product that you're cutting, you won't get a smooth flowing drawer pulling through. So always check to make sure it's 90 degrees. There's easy ways of doing it too. You can just use a 2x4 block and push it through the front of the blade, and then check it in, turn it around, and check it on the back of the blade to make sure that it follows the same line. There's lots of videos that'll show you that. There's the core, and there's the base, so we'll take that back to the bench and then we'll glue it up, and you see it just slides right through and right out. If that wasn't square, that would jam on the outside because it would taper down. So I'm just going to take a 1/4-inch blank off of each side, and this is the drawer. And once we have the 1/4-inch blank off, want to take it off the opposing side so that the grain matches. But laminate boxes, you really want to show that lamentation all the way through the box. And then I'll turn it around and cut the other side, and then we'll take a notch out of the inside to create a drawer. Alright, I just drew out, so we'll be cutting this, and then we'll be laminating sides on again, and that'll be our drawer unit. sides are, there's no wiggle in them or anything. I like to keep my blades as tight as I can tighten them. That gives you a nice square cut. I know people are saying that there should be loose and a bit of wiggle room and stuff. I don't follow that school. I keep them as tight as I can, and I've never had a problem. So here I'm just using some CA glue, a fast set, crazy glue, and we'll just glue this joint up. And this is gluing the bandsaw, basically exterior carcass back together. And once we get that on, we'll just hand clamp it. It only takes about 30 seconds for this to glue up. And then once it's all glued up, then we'll glue up the drawers and then start the sanding process. And just line it up on the sides and make sure that your grain all lines up. So what I'm doing is just rounding this off. I'll round this off to the joint, and basically that joint will just disappear. And this can be done with a file or hand sanders or whatever. I'm just sanding the sides of the drawers. I'm fortunate enough to have a big sander like this, but if I didn't, I would just put it on the bench and use a belt sander or an orbital sander. And here we're just softening up the lines of it. I want this box to be very organic. I really like the softness of style and wood and stuff. So these detail sanders really work good. And this is a small belt sander, small belt detail sander, and this will just round off the corners for us. And what I do is I turn mine upside down so they're slack in the belt, so you're not actually using the hard foot of the machine, you're using the top of it, so it's really slack. And these little detail sanders are great for this kind of work, for getting on the inside of the box. This is an air model, you can get them also electric as well. We have a couple of these in air. So there's the unit there, the drawer, and the sides are ready to get glued on. I've sanded all the inside, and what I'll do is just glue those on, the same thing that you glued on with CA glue. And you can see I'm just laid in, that's the plate that goes on the front. And so we'll just glue that on and give that a sanding overnight as well. And once everything's fitted, we'll just give that box a little bit of sanding, and then we'll sand everything and all the corners. I'll give everything a on the edge and sanding before we melt the front plate on, and that's the plate for the tablet. So I'm just doing this by hand. You don't really need a router. So there's the front, and we'll just put that on, and that's just put on with carpenter's glue, white glue, and then we'll let that sit overnight. So I've taken the bandsaw and just rounded the edge. You see there where I've cut off the bottom, and just made marks here for pins. And then I'll take that over to the sander and just sand that off so it goes smooth into the box. So to hold the tablet, all I've done is drilled some half-inch holes. I'm just showing you the drill bit we use is a Forstner bit. Nice clean holes, and we've cut some dowels. These are about 3/4 of an inch. So there's the project all finished up, and with the tablet on it. Please subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed this one. It's a nice, easy project to do.